when I was left around 40 long messages on Discord from my friend in yesterday's video, I briefly mentioned something that they ranted about. And I wanted to share what I told them in this video. They mentioned that they weren't getting along with someone anymore who was essentially very close to them and their lover. And I had warned them about this several times, even last year, about staying away from this individual in an emotionally vulnerable way. But they didn't listen, right? They're attached to this person. So this reminds me of a parable someone told me. And hopefully whoever's watching or listening, you can take this with you forever, because I think about this all the time when I feel like I can't get along with someone who I care or who I cared about. When I was going through my Samantha situation, the whole Samantha era of the Aqua anime, some of you guys may remember. If you're new here, you probably aren't familiar with it, right? But during that time period, I had to do a group presentation with two business partners in Manhattan, right? So we carpooled together to the city, and I was being very strange during the whole car ride because I was hurt. Someone who I did a lot for was being unfaithful to me. And I had realized they had lied, exploited, and done many other things to me that some I didn't even share in my videos, right? And I could only blame myself for it because I have a lot of compassion for this person. And it made me comfortable with forgiving them. And it made me comfortable with comforting them despite their behavior. So when it all started to hit me, it was crashing down all at once during this time period, the Samantha time period, right? Anyway, so we made to the city, right? We're like in the middle of Manhattan. It's like nighttime, right? We're in this like tall skyscraper building, and we did the group presentation to these business partners, right? And we did a great job. Like we were, I don't know what happened. Like I just put all like my emotions and my sadness to the side, and I was just killing it out there. So we went to the bar down the block to celebrate. Like, yeah, we did it. It's midnight at this point. We're just running around Manhattan looking for a bar. This is when I used to drink, by the way. I don't know why I'm saying it like that, because this was like in April or May of this year. It's September, okay? I've only been a few months sober. So we're drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking. All beer, good beer, the good beer. And I'm a lightweight, so eventually I get drunk, right? And naturally, when you're drunk, you get a little bit emotional. So I'm like ranting about this whole relationship situation. I'm crying a bit, being very expressive. And a girl came up to me at the bar. I didn't know who she was. She asked how I was doing, where I was from, and so forth. I could tell even when I was drunk. She's swinging. Swinging means that you're at a bar and you randomly go out to people and meet them and for like potentially to date them or a one night stand or something like that. So, you know, like she's just going up to people and just like, so she's calling me handsome and trying to get to know me. And I was so emotional and so hurt over Samantha. I was brushing her off. I was showing literally no care towards her. And if you guys were there, if you were there literally seeing me at the bar, how I was talking to this girl, how, you know, my demeanor, my body language and everything, you would think that something was wrong with me. Like literally, because I remember how she looked. She was gorgeous. Like I never really give anyone a 10 out of 10. Maybe I'm giving her a 10 out of 10 because I was drunk too at the same time. But I think she was a 9.5 at minimum out of 10. And I'm basically turning her down because I'm so worked up about Samantha. And in my head, I am somehow like pre-wired. I'm like wired somehow that I am still committed or should stay loyal to Samantha. I'm too hurt and broken for this at the moment, you know? And she eventually walked away from me. You know, I blew my chance, okay? And I looks like there was no chance anyway because of how I was acting. And one of the guys who I did the presentation with, he was there the whole time listening in, right? And he could tell I was really upset still. And he was saying, damn, Andre, like, Jesus, like, look. Hey, I want you to notice something. Notice how much of a great job you did tonight at the presentation. You hit it out the ballpark. You did all the work tonight. Everything you've been doing, all the changes you've made to your life, all the growth you've had in your life, you've done it without her. He's talking about Samantha. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. But I miss her, you know, and I feel, you know what really bothers me? I feel dumb for forgiving her so many times for being the way that she was. And again, if you're not familiar with the whole Samantha era, you need a reminder. Samantha, she was clinically unwell. Like she was always cycling in and out of the psychiatric hospital. She had a lot of trauma and so forth. I don't want to get into the whole thing again, but like, she wasn't well, right? And because she wasn't well, I had a lot of compassion for her, and obviously, if you know me as well, I'm not too clinically sane as well. So, that it's not a good matchup at the end of the day. So when I told him that, right, I feel stupid for forgiving her so many times for the way she is, because I have empathy for her. And he said to me, and I remember word for word how he told me this, and this is what sticks with me forever. Andre, I forgot how it goes. There's a parable someone shared with me, or a saying. So I was in Miami on a business trip. Smart guy I was with, multi-millionaire. He was running a construction company, right? And we were networking, and he told me a story that helped him keep relationships in his business. And it applies to any relationship, friendships, partnerships, anything in life. He says it goes like this. One day, there was a guy walking down the street, and he falls into a deep hole in the sidewalk. He falls into the hole, and the guy's furious. He's like, bro, why is there a hole here? Who put this hole here? Did the construction workers not put any signs or any warnings? And it's a deep hole, so it takes him forever to get out of it. But he does. Gets out of the hole. The next day, he's walking down the street, and he falls into the hole again. And he's still mad he fell into the hole. Oh my God, these construction workers, who keeps putting this hole here? Someone could get hurt. I fell into it. I'm about to sue. I'm about to do all this stuff. And it takes him a while to get out the hole again. The third day, he walks down the street and he sees the hole. And out of habit, he falls into it again. When you see something coming and you still fall for it, right? Like a trick or something, or somebody being manipulative or exploited or whatever, and or you see something, you still trip over it. So he did that, right? He saw it and he fell for it again. He falls into the hole 3 days in a row now. But this time, as he's in the hole, he's not mad about it, because he knows it was his fault. He saw the hole and he still fell into it. So he's easily able to get himself out of the hole this time, because he fell into it 2 other times already. So now he knows how to crawl out of this hole. The fourth day, he's walking down the street again, and he sees the hole that he fell into 3 days in a row at this point. And he decides to just walk around the hole. And then the fifth day, he walks down another street instead of the street he kept going down with the hole in it. And I was like, It took a little bit for me to register it. I was like, this is actually very valuable to understanding situations you end up in. Look, he fell into the same situation 3 times. He was mad the first and second time, and it took him forever to get out of that situation. But the third time, he put himself in that situation again, despite knowing what was to come. And he takes responsibility and he gets himself out of it, despite it causing him distress. Then the fourth time, he walks around the bad situation. And the fifth time, he completely goes in a different direction from where that situation even takes place. This isn't a fool me once, shame on you type of parable or saying, right? This is a story that emphasizes how much control you have over situations. You may get blindsided by something once or twice in life, right? Life is unpredictable. You can't really predict everything that's going down, right? But if you know that situation is bound to happen by going down the same street per se, you can't even be mad at this point that you see the situation coming or you put yourself into it again. Remember, he wasn't even mad he fell into the hole the third time. He saw it coming. Am I supposed to get mad at the construction workers at this point? Like, you know what I'm saying? And instead of walking into that situation again, right? And instead of walking around the situation like he did on the fourth day, he just decides to go down another street that still leads him to his same destination. The problem doesn't exist on this other street. So why do you keep walking down this same street? And so with my Samantha situation, I was able to relate it. Like, I fell into the hole several times. I was mad at her. I was mad at myself. But now I just walk down a different street. And if I'm walking down a different street and I see that hole somehow or another hole, I'll just walk around it. But I can't be mad. I kept falling into the hole to begin with. This parable is literally one of the main factors how I got over my situation. I can't be mad at her for being her. I made fully conscious decisions to continue to associate with her and give chances. Instead of boo-hoo, look what she did to me. Look how unfaithful she was despite me doing all this stuff, or I did so much, or she's so unfaithful with all this stuff, right? Listen, I saw the hole while walking down the street numerous times, though, and I kept falling into it. I got to take accountability. I can't be so... This is the thing about, like, people who hurt you in the past. Yo, we can't... This is why I don't really, like, attach anymore to, like... There are many people who hurt me in the past, but, like, I'm not mad at them where I want revenge or something. You know, like, a lot of times when people hurt me, I kind of knew how they were, you know. I kind of knew they were capable of doing something. I saw the hole, and I walked into it still. And the friend on Discord I mentioned at the beginning of the video, same thing I told him about their ex. I warned you about this a year ago. You kept falling into the hole. This person is not good for you. They hurt you multiple times. Stop being mad or depressed about it. Like, you literally keep going back to it. It's not their fault. They're going to be who they are. Anyway, hopefully this helps someone here who's going through something, or in the future, if you ever feel someone does hurt you, or you feel a little bit, your gut feeling makes you feel like somebody isn't nice to be around, you know what I'm saying? Or they're going to do something. Like, this parable helps with anything related to other people. Again, not just with love. It helps with friendships, networking, everything. This episode is found on Spotify and YouTube. I'm out.